Do you know one very common mistake when raising a Shih Tzu is thinking that more protein is always better? For a small breed like the Shih Tzu, too much protein, especially high-fat protein, does not make them healthier. It can force their pancreas to work under excessive strain. I have worked with Shih Tzus for more than a decade. And if there's one thing I always remind owners, it is this. Shih Tzus need clean protein in moderate amounts and easy to digest, not heavy protein. First, let us talk about eggs. Eggs have a high biological value, which means the body absorbs nearly all essential amino acids efficiently. In addition, eggs contain choline, which supports brain function, especially in senior Shih Tzus. But here is what truly matters. For a Shih Tzu weighing around 5 to 7 kilograms, half an egg 2 to 3 times per week is enough. Not every day. And absolutely no butter, no salt, no seasoning. Why is caution necessary? Because Shih Tzus are more prone to pancreatitis than many people realize. A meal that is too high in fat can trigger acute inflammation of the pancreas, causing severe abdominal pain, vomiting, and even hospitalization. Now, let us talk about chicken breast and turkey. These are lean protein sources and easy to digest, especially suitable for Shih Tzus with sensitive stomachs. When I see a Shih Tzu with mild digestive upset, I often recommend boiled skinless chicken breast, shredded and mixed into their regular portion. Lean protein helps maintain muscle mass, stabilize energy, and avoids adding unnecessary fat load. But remember this clearly, chicken skin is not a small treat. Chicken skin is almost pure fat, and for a Shih Tzu, that can become a serious issue. Next is cooked salmon. Salmon contains omega-3 fatty acids, specifically eicosapentaenoic acid and docosahexaenoic acid, which help reduce skin inflammation and support joint health. Shih Tzus are prone to allergic dermatitis, and omega-3 is one natural way to help regulate inflammatory responses. 1 tablespoon of fully cooked salmon twice per week is appropriate for an adult Shih Tzu. It must be thoroughly cooked, deboned, with no salt, and not smoked. Good protein is not expensive protein. Good protein is protein that fits the physiology of the breed. Now, I want you to try something. Think about the last meal you gave your Shih Tzu. How much of it was fat? How much seasoning was involved? How much came from the dinner table? Your Shih Tzu does not need to eat like a human. They need to eat like a small body with a sensitive digestive system. If you are giving the right protein, in the right amount, at the right frequency, you are not just building muscle. You are protecting the pancreas, protecting the skin, and protecting lifespan. In the next part, we will talk about digestion and fiber, because sometimes the issue is not protein at all, but how your Shih Tzu's gut processes food every single day. There is one thing I always observe first when evaluating a Shih Tzu's health. It is not the coat, not the weight. It is the stool. It may sound overly practical, but the digestive system accurately reflects what is happening inside the body. Shih Tzu is a small breed with a shorter intestinal tract compared to larger dogs and a faster food metabolism rate. That makes them more sensitive to changes in diet, fat content, and especially fiber. Let us begin with plain pumpkin. Pumpkin contains soluble fiber, a type of fiber that absorbs water during diarrhea and retains moisture during constipation. That is why veterinarians often recommend pumpkin puree when a Shih Tzu has mild digestive upset. But what matters is plain pumpkin, not pumpkin pie filling. No sugar, no spices. For a Shih Tzu weighing 5 to 7 kilograms, 1 teaspoon mixed into a meal is enough, not half a bowl. Next is sweet potato. Sweet potato contains beta-carotene and insoluble fiber, which helps increase stool, bulk, and support the gut microbiome. For a Shih Tzu prone to constipation or irregular stools, 1 to 2 tablespoons of mashed sweet potato can noticeably improve consistency. But here is what many people overlook. Sweet potato is still a carbohydrate. If you use too much, you are increasing total dietary energy without realizing it. For a breed that gains weight easily like the Shih Tzu, that accumulation happens quickly. Now let us talk about white rice. When a Shih Tzu has diarrhea, or mild vomiting, the boiled chicken and white rice diet is a classic veterinary recommendation. White rice is easy to digest, low in irritation, and helps stabilize stool during acute episodes. But this is only a temporary solution for 2 to 3 days, not a long-term diet. Rice lacks micronutrients and does not provide balanced calcium and phosphorus. I want you to understand something important. The digestive system is not just a food tube. It is a microbial ecosystem. Billions of beneficial bacteria live inside your Shih Tzu's intestines. When you suddenly change food, add too much fiber, or feed inconsistently, you disrupt that ecosystem. That is why any addition, whether pumpkin or sweet potato, must be introduced gradually over 3 to 5 days so the gut can adapt. One tip I often share with owners is to monitor the stool cycle. Ideal stool has a defined shape, is not too hard, not too soft, and does not have an excessively strong odor. If stool changes constantly, that is a signal the digestive system is not stable. Shih Tzu does not need a complicated menu. They need a stable gut. Remember this principle. Protein builds muscle. Fiber regulates digestion. But dosage determines everything. In the next part, we will talk about antioxidants and aging, especially important when a Shih Tzu passes the age of 7. When a Shih Tzu passes the age of 7, the body begins to change quietly. You may notice your dog sleeping more, reacting more slowly, or not showing the same excitement as before. Many people think that is simply old age. But behind it is a very clear biological mechanism: oxidative stress. Oxidative stress occurs when free radicals accumulate faster than the body can neutralize them. Over time, this affects nerve cells, the immune system, joints, and skin. This is not theory. It is basic physiology of aging. And this is where antioxidant-rich foods can play a supportive role. First are blueberries. Blueberries contain anthocyanins, a group of polyphenols capable of neutralizing free radicals. Some animal studies suggest that polyphenols may improve oxidative stress markers and support cognitive function. For a Shih Tzu under 7 kilograms, 3 to 5 berries per serving, 1 to 2 times per week is enough, not a large handful. Too much fiber can cause diarrhea. And something extremely important, never confuse blueberries with grapes. Grapes cause acute kidney failure in dogs. There is no clearly established safe threshold. Avoid completely. Next is apple. Apple provides vitamin A, vitamin C, and fiber. Thin slices can also help lightly reduce plaque buildup on teeth, but always remove the seeds and the core. Apple seeds contain cyanogenic compounds in trace amounts not significant if a single seed is swallowed. But it is not worth the risk. What about banana? Banana is rich in potassium and vitamin B6, supporting nerve and heart function. But banana contains natural sugar. For a Shih Tzu prone to weight gain, only 2 to 3 thin slices, maximum 1 to 2 times per week. What I want you to understand is not that fruit cures disease. Fruit does not replace medication and does not reverse aging, but it provides bioactive compounds that help reduce oxidative burden over time. And for a Shih Tzu, a breed that often lives 12 to 15 years, small weekly habits accumulate into meaningful differences over several years. Look at your dog as they age. Are their eyes still sharp? Do they recognize you from a distance? Do they respond when you call their name? Anti-aging is not magic. It is a long-term strategy. A few blueberries, a properly prepared apple slice, a balanced diet. Small things added together become quality of life. In the final part, we will talk about principles of safety and balance, because smart supplementation must always come with control. I want to tell you a very straightforward truth. No food, whether it is eggs, salmon, or blueberries, can completely replace a properly designed, balanced diet that meets nutritional standards. A Shih Tzu's body does not only need protein and vitamins, it needs a precise calcium to phosphorus ratio, essential fatty acids, trace minerals such as zinc, copper, and selenium, and a full spectrum of B-complex vitamins. These standards are established by the Association of American Feed Control Officials to ensure that complete foods meet both minimum and optimal nutritional requirements. The human foods we have discussed should make up only about 10 to 20% of the total daily ration. The remainder should still be a balanced diet, appropriate for age and activity level. Why is this especially important for Shih Tzu? Because small breeds have a very narrow margin of error. A slight excess of calcium over a long period can affect bone health. A deficiency in certain trace minerals can impact skin, coat, and immune function. An excess of 50 to 80 kilocalories per day can lead to noticeable weight gain within a few months. Small body, but very fast response. Now, let us talk about safety, the part I always emphasize most in every consultation. There are certain things you must never give to a Shih Tzu. Xylitol found in chewing gum and sugar-free baked goods can cause hypoglycemia and liver failure. Grapes can cause acute kidney failure. Chocolate is toxic to the heart and nervous system. Onions and garlic destroy red blood cells. For a Shih Tzu weighing 5 to 7 kilograms, the toxic dose per kilogram of body weight is proportionally much higher than in large dogs. What seems like just a small piece to a human can be far too much for them. And do not forget water. Clean water is not just for hydration. It directly affects kidney function, bladder health, and detoxification processes. Wash the water bowl every day. Replace the water at least twice daily. In small breeds, mild chronic dehydration can easily lead to urinary crystals and stones. Finally, I want you to remember a simple principle. Supplement wisely. Monitor weight monthly. Observe stool. Observe skin and coat. Observe energy level. Your Shih Tzu cannot say, "I feel uncomfortable," but their body always sends signals. There is no magic in nutrition, only knowledge, discipline, and consistency. If you apply the 4 principles correctly today, clean protein, appropriate fiber, reasonable antioxidants, and safe balance, you are not just improving a meal, you are investing in the next 10 to 15 years of a small life that trusts you completely.